black submarines operator, please put me back on the line. Told my girl I'd be back, operator, please. This is wrecking my mind. Oh, can it be the voices call?
Hi, my name is CJ Ray, and today I'll be talking about the themes in Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. In Slaughterhouse 5, the narrator, Billy Pilgrim, spends his time reliving his war experiences with a war buddy from Dresden. He has no control over whether he will be in his optometry practice one day or back in the war as a prisoner of war in World War II in Slaughterhouse 5. He has so little control over his life that it's a mystery where he will be from one day to the next. His only cure is to take refuge in the belief of the Tralmalfadorians, that death, free will, and time itself are illusions. The next theme we will be talking about is warfare in Slaughterhouse 5. Instead of this being a book about war heroes and amazing feats of human strength, it's not. It's a book about soldiers in World War II that did not want to be there and shouldn't have been there in the first place. There is no romances of war in this book. Rather, this book shows the cruelty of warfare that is overmasked by the heroic stories we hear every day. Moving on, we will talk about the theme of suffering. Billy Pilgrim has gone through a lot of suffering. He's in a war that he should not have been in. He suffers as a prisoner of war. This suffering is what caused Billy to turn to the refuge of the Tralmalfadorians. He wanted a new reality. He basically wants stability, and even though being with the Tralmalfadorians isn't exactly as stable as he'd like to, and it's an improvement from his experiences in everyday life. The next thing we're going to talk about is of contrasting themes of freedom versus confinement. As a prisoner of war, Billy is confined a lot. He has no freedom, yet when he isn't a prisoner of war, he still feels confined. Whether it's meeting the expectations of his mother, running his optometry practice, or taking care of his daughter. Billy is brainwashed and can't grasp the meaning of real freedom, which makes him feel confined at all times. The next thing we're going to be talking about is men and masculinity. Slaughterhouse 5 really brings out the effects that the war had on the men serving in it. This book succeeds in showing that the war isn't just about Purple Hearts and badges of honor. Rather, it shows how every man, faced with challenges he can't compete with, becomes weak. During this time, this was a big thing. Men stereotypically served in the war, came home and served their families. They seemed like heroes. Yet, most of them weren't heroes. Actually, they were just another casualty of war or another wounded soldier. Lastly, we're going to talk about the theme of morality, or lack thereof. As the Tralmalfadorians believe, the world will end. No matter how many times we try to avoid it, they cannot. So what's the point of teaching good morality? There is none. The book really shows how people care for themselves and only themselves.